Howdy, YouTube. I have been getting a lot of really good feedback from you guys, and you seem to enjoy the videos. One thing that has been mentioned to me about the length of these VOD reviews is that the last one tended to go a little bit long. For reference, my first video was 2 hours and 40 minutes long, which is the same length as the feature film The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I don't plan to bail on this series. That's so funny. But I am trying to keep it a little bit closer to about an hour and a half moving forward for you guys. A little bit more palatable, I think. Now, the video today, I'm working with a guy named Chris. He's a gold jungler playing with his team. Considering the majority of the Smite player base is at a gold through plat level, I'm hoping that this video will find a large audience and maybe encourage some of you guys to get into some community tournaments yourself. So I do hope that you guys enjoy the video. I am putting a lot of effort into all of these, and there should be many more following behind it. I've already got prepped. So I hope that you guys are liking the content. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there's anything you'd like to see changed or improved, just let me know. Until the next time, though, peace. Alrighty. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me like what type of rank you are in Smite, and then tell me like kind of what your goal is for Smite.
Okay, so my name's Chris. I started playing Smite in like 2014 when I was like a very young child, and I was not very good, and I stopped playing, and then I got back into the game like beginning of this year and the last year. Been playing with my friends. Last year I got to mid gold in ranked, and I'm climbing back up to gold, but it's been a struggle this year. Um, well, not this season. But last season I was gold, and I mostly play with my friends. We three of my two of my teammates don't even play ranked. They just play with us. We play casual five stacks, and we just like to have a lot of fun. I switch actually for context. I'm playing Merc in this game. I don't usually play jungle. I'm actually a mid main. That's why in the first VOD that I had, I was playing Janus because that's actually my main. But for the team, they wanted me to switch around and wanted me to start going jungle and have the jungler go mid. So you're probably gonna see a lot of jungle mistakes because I don't play jungle that much. But that's just some context.
Okay. Fair enough. So you're newly to jungle. How old are you? You said that you
I'm
just like started playing when you were a kid.
Yeah, I'm 17
Okay, 17
now.
now. Perfect. So where would you like to get in Smite? Like, where's like your reasonable like goal for yourself? Like, is it just to get better at ranked? Like, you want to get to plat, diamond, etc.,
Mm,
etc.?
I don't know about a ranked goal, but all I know is that I can feel, especially with jungle, that there are just some fundamental things that I don't know, just because I'm so new to the role, and that's what I want to learn, and maybe rank up a little faster, you know?
Gotcha.
Why not?
Alrighty. Well, let's get going. I'm not gonna focus too much on like drafts. At your level of play, I don't think drafts are all that important. I would just advise you to stick to comfort picks for like
Yeah,
the whole
that's what I've
team.
heard.
Yeah, because like whatever your best gods are, stick to those. In my experience, there is like a very high level of variance at lower levels between like a person's comfortable god and a person's like uncomfortable god. So I would just always advise just play like your best characters and don't really worry about meta too much until you get to a higher level of play.
Uh,
All right, so I'll keep an eye on jungle as well this game, just to see what we got going on.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll keep an extra eye since you said you're new
One
to the role and everything.
One thing. The enemy team had a lot of disconnects like the whole game, and like we had
Awesome.
to wait a lot of time in the beginning. So you're probably gonna have to fast forward a lot.
Okay, good to know. I can always edit that out and post as well.
Mhm.
So your start already, it's fine. The boots start. So what you're doing is you're rushing boots because Mercury's passive obviously gives them extra power of movement speed.
Mhm.
So like those boots are a really big power spike for Mercury. It's not the only option he has. You could also go like Golden Blade in this meta,
Yeah.
right? Because they buffed it a while ago. But boots rush is fine. I'm actually seeing pretty normal throughout the board. Let's arrange this. Make everyone even in their correct spot. Let me take a quick survey. Everything looks normal. No beads on the Merlin. Could be problematic, but okay. Aegis isn't terrible. Let's speed up to interesting things happening. Let's watch my mid laner push. Ooh, the bold. I was about to say the bold doing red at level 2. Oh, yep. I see what you're talking about. That looks like a DC to me.
Yeah, look at him go.
Their Discordia is very aggressive.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright, let's speed up to this person coming back. Oh, do you guys kill her? Tough, dude. That is tough.
Okay, I didn't know she was DC'd until
Wow.
after I killed
You guys
her.
lose this game, right?
Yeah, we still lose anyway, so
That's karma.
I guess so.
That is God doing God's work. I can't believe you just thirst killed that DC'd player. Wow.
Man, you know, I'm down on my luck. You know, I see a Discordia running into a wall. I'm gonna kill her, man.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, go get what you can get, you know? Oh, God, I hate Spectator. The only thing I hate about Spectator pauses, so there's no, like, countdown. So I put it at time 16 speed, and then it'll come out of it, and it's going to zoom, like, 20 seconds in advance before I can turn it back down.
Yeah.
Ah! See, like just like that. I hate it. I hope nothing happened in that 20 seconds. All right, so we get a first blood, though. So let's imagine that was just real life, right? Okay, so we get a first blood. She's just hitting level 2. We have a pretty big mid lead. They're trying to, like, freeze in mid, but that's not really a thing. Freezing in mid is generally a very bad idea. Generally. There are times where it can be okay, but they're very far and few between. There's so much map on the... There's so much farm on the map that mid laners have access to. Mid camps, they have these little mini harpies. They have red, they have backs on the other side. They can split speed. Like, there's so much farm around the map that it's usually not worth it for them to sit there and try to freeze. It's usually better to push and then rotate to the farm that's available to them. So obviously it's not your mid laner doing that, but just like a point. Unless this person's DC'd again. I don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're DC'd again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll speed it back up then. All right, let's see. They have a pretty solid lead already. 1,300 gold. Let's think about matchups for a second. My duo lane is Rama Yamoja. Cupid Ganesha. That should be decent pressure. Mid lane is fine.
We were gonna pick Cupid, but they wanted to first pick Merlin, and then they got yeah. They got Nem and Cupid second pick.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would just stick to comfort picks. I mean, your draft is fine. I think your draft is perfect for this game. As long as everyone's comfortable in their gods, it looks 100% okay to me. All right. Scordia's taking a lot of poke. Ooh, she's using her dash to avoid stuff is always kind of scary. But you aren't level 5 yet, so it's whatever, I guess. Oh, if you ever see someone use their dash like that, and you're like a level 5 merc, you can just look for the gank right away, because they won't have the dash to avoid you, right? You want to take advantage of like low cooldowns like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting our own red. I don't really see any wards on the map. 4 minutes. Let's see. I have 2 placed by Merlin. Where are his at? Are they just dummy wards, like thrown on mid or something? I don't really see them. I would assume that that's not an actual dedicated ward, that that's just a dummy ward. Dummy ward is his like free one, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine it's those that's being placed. So vision is very important, right? So you generally want to get it. So I don't know, like you had 2 backs off already, right? I would just, or maybe just 1 back with first blood. But you managed to get your Ninja Tabi and you managed to buy a tier 1 Gem of Fate. I would argue that instead of going tier 1 Gem of Fate, it's probably just as important to get wards on the map, right? Let's imagine that you back and get wards, and then you and your support move together to come up here and like ward their red, ward their purple, get vision, and get timers, right? That type of stuff is really important to push your lead, because you have a solid lead already, right? She DC'd, so you get off this really nice early lead. It'd be nice to then be able to invade off of that, try to take advantage of the fact that your mid laner's hitting 5 first, that your mid laner, or like that you have this big power spike with Ninja Tabi that you manage to get even faster because you have first blood. Like all that stuff can be really strong and be pushed, but if you're just going to passively sit here, it's not going to matter as much, right? So like at the beginning of the game at 5 minutes, 600 gold difference is a pretty big difference, right? 2,000 gold difference is extreme. At 30 minutes, 2,000 gold difference is like nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the longer you let leads like sit, the less important they are. The less relevant they get. So I would have liked to see this being like a push, trying to get pressure in duo, and then all like everyone rotating into the red. That would have been ideal, I think. What's your favorite type of Pop-Tart?
I haven't had Pop-Tarts in so long.
You're missing out, man.
But
Strawberry
yeah,
plain, chat. Strawberry plain. That's the way to go. You can't. It won't even focus. Fuck.
I guess so.
We do have some wards now. We have some being placed over here by the support, I imagine.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure it was the support. And you also picked up a ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 by the support. So a very common thing as a support player is, like I said, after their first back, they get those wards, and then they'll come in and try to ward red and try to ward, like, over here. You don't want to do it enough to be predictable, but especially if you're playing against a lot of variants of teams or teams that you don't think are doing VOD review or anything like that, it's generally a pretty good idea to do that so you can get timer on their red. I don't really love this ward in general, unless you're getting, like, really heavily pressured. Like, if I'm sitting under my tower and I'm, like, barely able to move up, I got killed in lane or something like that, this ward can help protect me. But for the most part, if you get aggressive wards, you ward their red, you ward, like, the intercession over here, and then your mid laner focuses on getting their ward up over here, like a sentry ward on this, there's really no way for the enemy jungler or enemy support to get to duo lane without crossing one of those wards, right? You don't need to see him here if you can see him up here, right? It gives you more time to prepare for him, more time to react to the fact that he's coming over to you, as well as they're more aggressive wards. So if you're playing up and making aggressive plays, it's like better for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So generally aggressive wards, especially if you're ahead, are like better. So I would have liked to see with a first blood, second blood as well. When did we get a second blood? I missed him. I'm a bad VOD reviewer. Let's watch it. Looks like we get a kill over in solo. But yeah, when we have two kills to start it off, I'd like to see it more aggressive warding. Let's check this out. Salty Ryan, show me what. Ooh, big gank. We got a big gank off. Okay. Okay, that was fine. You still had ult to follow. I mean, he probably should have tried to like Achilles ult something at that point, either your 3 or the Ama ult. But even if he had ulted out, I'm pretty sure you still could have killed him if you hit your ult to follow. So a good gank, well gotten off. He didn't have wards up anywhere. So again, this one same kind of deal as earlier. This one is like really not useful warding.
It gets funky here.
Yeah, I'll come back and watch it. But this ward, again, is really not functional. Like, if you're going to walk all the way up here to ward their blue, it's like 2 extra steps to, like, ward their backs, right? To just, like, boom, and then you walk over here and ward on top of their backs. And it's way more better. It's way better information and more relevant than this, especially when you're ahead and you're not, like, worried about getting ganked that much or worried about dying. So warding in general needs to be a little bit more aggressive if we're ahead. All right, let's watch this. We're fighting the Nim. We get ulted. I don't know why she doesn't have a health bar. It's like a bug. And you ult out. Nim is low, but Discordia was showing up. I think it's fine to trade ults like that. We'll watch it one more time. I want to see if I can get the health bar back. Yeah. All right, let's see. Pretty low. Ooh, okay. We missed the dash. All right. First things first. You probably don't want to dash a Nemesis before she shields as Mercury. For the most part, right? Because if you can dash her when she shields, that cancels the shield. It gets canceled by CC, yes?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, Nemesis shield gets canceled by any CC that she's hit with. So if she gets CC'd while she has her shield on, it just disappears.
Wow,
So
okay.
it could have been better sometimes to just walk at her and see if you can close the gap before she shields, right? Because you have boots 1 finished already, and she has no boots, right? So if you're paying attention to builds, you can run her down pretty easily. You're much faster than she is, right? Especially with your 2 and your passive movement speed on top of it. You're a very fast character. So you can probably just run her down. Or you could have looked to like ult to her. If you thought she was back here and you're looking for her, you could have been like charging ult around the corner and just ulted on top of her and then punched her and then 3'd her as soon as she shields, right?
Yeah.
So those were the options to play it. You probably still could have done something if you hit your dash, but unfortunately we miss it, which just makes it a little bit harder. And then we punch into the shield. We're missing autos. All right, we're missing autos in melee.
Yeah, because at that I was backing up instead of going forward, and then I started missing the autos.
Yeah, autoing at melee is like just a skill to like practice. I mean, it's a matter of managing to track their movement and like follow them and have really good like reflexes with like your movement to like stay on top of them. But there you did not manage to do that. You were like autoing next to them and stuff. So we missed 2 autos. This definitely was a dropped kill. It's not the end of the world, but this definitely was a dropped kill and could have been a kill under her because she still hasn't backed either. She's being really greedy with how much gold she's saving. She has over 2,000 gold in hand. Like, that is really bad for her, right? If she needs to get back and get her boots. So she doesn't even have them yet, so you could have punished that really hard. This should be fine. Nemesis should just die now that she just blinked in. Does she even have her dash back up? She just blinked in without dash back up. This should just be a kill. Yeah, she's kind of just inting into you. Yeah, I don't know what that was. You might die. Yeah.
I get Achilles killed here.
Oh, it's nice by you, Moja. Looks like he's gonna live. Yes, I don't know if I would have pulled the blue in front of them, like as you could have had your soul laner pull it. You also could have like dashed out maybe a little bit faster, like because the second the Nim blinks in like that, you don't need to actually do anything to her. The Alma and the Umoja should be able to kill her, so you can just like play your own life. But it's fine though you played it, especially for like gold level play. I wouldn't know if I'd have like the awareness of what my teammates can do. That's kind of like a next step type of thing, right? Like how much damage do my teammates have? Because they had enough damage to finish her off there, and she had no one. Her cooldown is down. If you're tracking all that stuff, you can pretty easily probably just like walk away and trust your teammates to finish it out. God, I hate Spectator for doing that. All right, so that was interesting. A little bit of better mechanics could have scored you a kill on that Nemesis, and also just taking advantage of your power spikes, which you did with the gank, right? So you get your boots and then you go and do your gank, which is really nice to see. Let's go here. What would you say that you guys struggle with as a team? Like, where do we usually fall apart? Because this all looks fine so far.
I don't know. I don't like this. I don't know exactly like what to pinpoint what we're doing wrong, but I know something's going wrong because we ended up losing.
In terms of like, did you guys start losing team fights or did we start losing like sieges?
What happened was Achilles got like really strong and really tanky, and then he started roaming everywhere. He started taking my bank camps and going mid all the time, and then off of that the team just got ahead, and just we lost after that.
Gotcha. Merlin got a nice kill there. Emoji ult's kind of bad. So to replay this sequence. So number one, a big thing to do in Smite, or like to get better, that I see most teams under like diamond level struggle with is just like an awareness of how many people are in a fight, okay? So for example here, my Merlin just backed. You have access to that information. He's on your minimap. So I don't know if I would be looking for a fight around mid when my Merlin just backed, because you don't know where their Discordia is. So theoretically, you could just be taking a bad fight here, right? So so like a simple trick is moving forward when you're going into team fights and things go bad, and you watch it back with your team, like you do like a little VOD review, right? You now know about replay, so you can go in VOD review, watch it back. A really simple question to ask a lot of the times is going to be how many people were there, right? Like what were we actually fighting? Was it a 2v2, a 2v3? Like what are we looking at? Because the way that this turns out, the Ganesh is going to get here before the Merlin. He's closer, and so it ends up becoming like a 2v3. And you maybe could have mechanically played it better to kill the Nemesis here and like styled on her a little bit, but like you're just putting yourself in a position where you have to play better than the enemy in order to win 2v3s. You know what I mean? So like here we grab the Nim again. Probably should have waited for her shield. You don't really want to commit your dash on the Nim before her shield.
Yeah. I had no idea about the CC thing until you told me. So
Yeah.
It's good info.
And here, see, Ganesha shows up way before the Merlin, so it becomes a 2v3, and he manages to finish you off.
Yeah.
You also could have looked to ult sooner, maybe once the Discordia showed up, because maybe you take the fight and hope that the Discordia also backed, like your mid laner, right? Maybe the next step is you're looking at a map, you see your Merlin back, you go, okay, well, maybe their disco's back, the Nim's playing up on me, I'm going to go on her. You start punching her, she shields, you dash her, and then you hear a Discordia ability behind you. Then you should probably just be looking to ult out, right? Because at that point, you know that you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
So a lot of Smite is just tracking that information. I hate that the health bars go away. A lot of Smite is like tracking information and trying to pay attention to where people are on the map so that you can make educated decisions on where you want to fight. And this one wasn't a great fight to take, and we almost made it work. Nemesis pretty low. If you like ulted her right away right there, she still maybe could have died, but even then I don't know if it's worth, because I think that you might just die for it. Fortunately, they misexecute here and just like group and chase for the Merlin and get a little greedy instead of just leaving it, which they should have done. The Emoji ult's late and it doesn't really do anything, but the Merlin manages to pop off and kill them both, so that's very nice. That's just like an over-aggression type of thing, knowing when to quit. Usually when you get your window, you get your kill, you don't want to keep going.
I think I would have gotten out if Ganesha wasn't there, because if I was charging my ult in the XP camp.
Yep.
But
and then his ult hit you.
Yeah.
Slow down. Where you going, hotshot?
I want to watch this solo kill back. This is our second solo kill in the... No. The other one was a gank. This is our first solo kill in the game.
Slow down, son.
Alright, Prime Harp, show me what we got. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, he's better at Rama Snipes than I am. And it's a cripple. That's just easy. It's too easy for Prime Harp. That's clean. Ults the Cupid ult, hits his shots, hits his autos. It's exactly what you want to see. Can't play it better.
Exactly.
Don't know. Okay, well, let's go back. Wait, I don't know if I would back right away. Are we scared? Is there like, do we not know where people are? We know where Ganesha is.
Maybe he has too much. Maybe he has a lot of gold. I don't know.
Maybe. Usually you don't want to back right after killing, unless you're like sure that people are coming your way. See, he has boots. I mean, that's fair. I guess maybe he doesn't know where the Nim is and he's worried about that. So if that's what you're worried about, fair enough. I would have been greedy and pushed another wave, but, you know, I would have been like, hey, if Nemesis is here, she's here, I die, but it's still fine. You got the kill. Generally, you don't want to back unless you're, like, really worried about them, though. But again, that kind of comes down to warding and you guys not having any warding. Right? If you look on the map, red team has a lot of, like, aggressive wards. They have a sentry here. They have an aggressive ward on top of gold. We have no wards at this point, and our wards in the past were pretty... like half and half in terms of aggression. So an immediate improvement for you guys could be if you get an early lead, make a decision to ward aggressively, right? As a support and a jungler, like talk to each other and say, hey, can we go ward their red together, you know?
Yeah.
You know buff timers, right? Do you know how long buff timers are?
I don't know exactly how long. I just look at the little circles.
Okay. So a buff timer is 2 minutes for any of the actual like buffs that you get on yourselves, okay? So like red, purple, blue, speed are all 2 minutes once you drop the camp. So if you get a ward on their red or whatever and you see them drop it, you could even try to like say like we have 2 minutes for it and then pay attention. Each of those little half circles, if you're watching the circle, is going to be 30 seconds, right? So you see go to like a quarter, like a pie, right? The quarter of the pie fills up. That means it has a minute and 30 left. Another one, you have a minute left. Another one, you have 30 seconds left, right? And you can use that to track it. Usually you want to, if you're going to go and invade as a team, like let's say that you guys want to go and invade a red, you're going to want to back before the 30-second mark, right? You want to be like in base as 30 seconds is happening for you to actually reliably get there in time. So you're watching that pie chart, it gets to that minute, and then you have like just right before it hits that next one, you want to be getting your backs off to get to the invade, okay? That's how you're going to use that information. I'm not sure what exactly happened here. We just took a death. Took a big L.
Yeah.
Let me check something.
I think I was doing my mid camps, yeah. And then Achilles came for the mid camp and I couldn't escape him.
We get pinched here.
Yeah.
Was this called out by your solo laner at all?
I don't remember. Yeah, look, he just comes from there and there's just nothing I can do. And to be fair, I shouldn't have been that far up anyway. There was nothing there.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. And you also ulted really late. If you wanted to ult, you should ult it early. You also have beads, right? So you could have beads his one and then ulted out if you needed to, right?
Yeah.
So not really getting value out of our relics. But yeah, I mean, you said correct. There's no reason to like move up here unless you're actually gonna like look for the fight and commit to it and ult through. But you didn't really end up doing that, so you kind of just moved up and sat still. The Achilles shows up behind you. You have beads and ult, and you don't use them to get out. So not amazing, but again, that's just like a thing. You look at those things enough times, and you recognize what you're doing wrong enough times, and that's how you get better. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Next time an Achilles flanks you from behind, you'll know, hey, maybe I should beads and ult out or dash out or whatever, you know. Okay, okay, this is ambitious. Oh no, we missed our Merlin too. Should have thrown it ourselves. Doesn't matter. Okay. Unfort. I mean, it's still 1 for 2. It's not amazing though. They're just tower dove. Pretty sure the Merlin 2 should have been on top of himself. Oh, the Mercury's too late. Unfort. Dude, Prime Harp. Okay. Okay, Prime Harp's just slamming. All right, so you guys at this point in the game, right? What do you think you should be doing? What's your game plan here?
Push towers, take their camps, get oracles, maybe get gold if we get some kills. I don't know, maybe take pyro, get some ganks going, maybe.
This all sounds like good stuff. Why did we not do any of that stuff? I think that I haven't seen you guys like actually invade anything or like look for a camp. You guys are just kind of been fighting to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which if you want to fight to fight, you become an arena team, and then you slam arena and you become the best arena team in the world. But if you want to play conquest, let's think about the buffs that are on the map and about controlling them, getting our vision out. Again, look at this super defensive vision. And I like, just to be honest, like aggressive vision is almost always better than defensive vision, right? Look at the enemy team. They have like a ward on your red. They're hitting timers. They're looking to make aggressive plays. You guys are kind of just passively like sitting around, and then when you see people in front of you, like looking for a fight. Do you see that?
You're right. Yeah.
So immediate quick fix for you guys is look to get wards on their buffs, and then look to actually play off of their buffs. Don't just fight to fight unless someone's like inting into you. You know, if someone's like diving a tower to try to kill you, sure, look to kill them, but like for the most part, look to fight over buffs. Makes you look like a way more coordinated team immediately. Also, like these plays where like you keep like as a jungler, right? Since you're new to it, I understand, but you keep doing like looking for a lot of ganks. Generally, you don't want to look for a lot of ganks as a jungler. If you know that you can get a kill and like you have a little bit more experience and you're like comfortable with the matchup, you're like, I know exactly how we can kill this Achilles if I come over. I'm on a power spike. He's weak to me or whatever, you know. Then like you can go for it. But this is like the fourth fight that we looked for, right? Like you're over in mid, you're looking up over here, pressuring the Nim. You ganked here earlier, now you're back up here, and there's a lot of farm up for you, right? There's backs, blue, other backs. You're not really farming a lot, right? So maybe focus on farming a little bit more as a jungler as well.
Yeah, I
think that you're gonna end up maybe dying here again, or at least ulting out.
I die here again.
There you go. You get your ult off. It looks like you'll be okay.
Oh, do I? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's like, but I mean, there you're just spending your ult for nothing, right? So,
yeah.
So it's like I wouldn't look for ganks too much, and you could have looked for the gank just as easily by getting your own farm, right? And then like when you get to blue and you're dropping this, saying like, is there a kill here? And you can even ask your soul lane, or they might know more about the matchup than you, and you can ask them, can we get a kill here? Is there any kill here? And then they'll be like, yes or no, right?
Yeah.
I like that you hit the cups first. That's efficiency. Merlin is low in mid. He's got poked out. Gets blinked on by Nim. Easy kill. You might be able to clean up. You don't have your ult. See, if we had ult here, this is a cleanup.
Yeah, I couldn't chase her. I was trying.
No, don't keep chasing her. You have farm on mid, and you have gold, and you have speed to get. You can't kill, so don't chase. Right here again, you're just looking to fight when like there's a ton of farm up. There's this whole mid wave that's dying for free under tower, and then there's this speed buff up. So yeah, an easy fix for you. I know you're new to the role, but just think about farming moving forward. Try to be the best farming jungler that you can, and then you can transition into being like a good ganking jungler. But it's way more important that you're consistently farming, right? Because like if I'm on a team and I have the option between a jungler that's going to gank a lot and fall behind half of the games and not be able to like impact the map, or a jungler who's not going to impact that much early game. He's kind of just going to leave me on my own, but he'll get to level 20 before the enemy jungler every time and then be big in team fights. I will take option 2 every time, right? I would much rather have a jungler who's just going to pound in team fights and farm and get big, rather than having a jungler who's like always looking for ganks and half the time they don't work out and he falls really far behind. And Achilles taking your back since they've been up so long. Unfortunately, he gets them. And that's not even like my solo laner's getting out pressured or anything like that. That's just like you didn't farm these for like 2 minutes. Of course, someone's going to eventually come take them.
Yeah.
You should also be playing around your Rama the most, right? Like, he should be the one determining where fights are because he's the one who's ahead. You always play off of the people who have leads. So, like, you could be, like, invading purples, which counts as farming, right? I said focus on farming, but, like, invades count as farming if you're getting them off successfully. So, like, you could be invading purple buff. You could be, like, invading a red with Rama, maybe him having pressure. You could have been, instead of looking for ganks on solo earlier, maybe if you really wanted to gank, you could have looked to gank down duo lane, right? You can actually ult as Mercury from, like, behind the tower and ult all the way down the lane, and people won't have vision on you until your ult hits, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so, like, if I'm a hunter, I'm just playing here, right? I'm already getting pounded by the Rama. I'm just sitting here, and then suddenly, boom, a Mercury ult will come through. And if you get good at it, you can have it where you land, like, right behind them, and then you're like ready to hit them. You wait for their beads, then you dash after or something, you know. But you can do that as a gank. You could have done it in solo as well, right? You can like walk down the lane, charging your ult like right around here. Oh, also, I'm such a bad VOD reviewer. I need to be streaming to you on Discord. Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, that's fine.
Here you go. So now you're not super far behind. You can join that stream. So like one thing you can do is you can like walk down lane here, and then like as you turn the corner, ult down the lane and hit their Achilles, and they'll have very little warning, very little like any type of reaction to it, you know. I would say that's like Mercury's best ults are going to be stuff like that. You can obviously do it down mid as well. But yeah, so your Rama starts getting ahead, he starts getting solo kills. Maybe you start to like play around your Rama, look for him after you get all your farm on the ground. Nemesis comes over, doesn't get anything. Taking a 2v2. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good for us. They just use 2 ults and we live. That's a pretty big trade. We can, like, play the map now however we want. You're doing totem, which is not necessarily optimal. It's not your job to do totem. Split away, which is fine. You're behind, but, yeah. Your speed's up, and it's going to be up for like 20 seconds before you get there because you did that totem. You want to be there on time. Right? Now they're pulling gold, and you don't have time to do your speed. So this is the issue with that play, right?
Yeah.
So prioritize your farm. Totem is soul laner's job. Unless, like, you've, like, killed the enemy soul laner, you have nothing on the map, like, very weird moments. That's when you would ever do totem as a jungler. For the most part, you want to do your speed on time the second it's spawning so that you can get to the next thing. Because now you're walking into fight without speed, which for Mercury is a huge buff, right? Because Mercury gets more power every movement speed he has. You understand this, yes?
Yeah.
So more movement speed you have built, the faster you are, and the more power Mercury gets. So speed buff is actually like a considerable buff on him. It gives him more damage as well. All right, they didn't do gold, even though they probably could have. They probably could have just burned it if they wanted to with like Ganesh ult. Oh wait, they wasted Ganesh ult. They probably don't have it, so they probably can't do it. Fun.
He's back at my camps because I didn't take them again.
Yeah. Did you get your speed? No, you got your own speed. That's good.
He just took the XP.
Okay, took the backs. So something for your solo laner, since this is like a team review, they watch it back. Something that you can do as a solo laner is if you are aware that your jungler is like across the map, and let's say that they're in like some type of team fight, you hear they're pulling gold, right? And you know the enemy team's pulling gold, and you see your jungler rotating over, and you see these backs up, and you don't want to make a full rotation because the enemy solo laner isn't. You can go and just do backs. Like, you can do your own backs on this side just to keep the enemy solo laner from getting them, right? Instead of letting the enemy solo rotate in and pressure them, you can try to get them first. Okay, let's see what happens here. Ganesh ult dropped again. How did that disco 2 not hit her? Did she have beads? Oh, that's weird. Oh no. We're almost here. This should be a good fight for you guys. If you guys can go in right now. Yep. Okay, you ulted a little far there.
Yeah, I ulted way too far.
Yeah. So this is a really far ult. You can like cancel your charge and like recharge it as you're like rounding the corner here.
I know. I
Yeah.
I didn't judge it correctly.
Yeah, that's just something that comes with time and experience. Rama should be able to clean this up. Ult. Okay. Oh no.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's okay.
Not every time.
Yeah, Achilles is gonna kill everyone.
Here.
Oh, that is pain. Watch this one more time. Let's see how it starts. Obviously, we have some missed abilities. Alright, so let's see. How does this start? Number one, we have no vision. We don't see him coming in. We have no wards on this side. The only vision we have are up here. So that's an immediate negative on our side. Alright. We get ulted. This point still looks fine. That's so unlucky for Discordia that doesn't hit, but whatever. Emoja is getting dove. Do we have ult? We can ult at this point. Emoja is getting dove, so it's pretty safe to at this point just ult. Right? So she doesn't get her off her ult very early. I think she'll get it off like now, maybe. Yeah, so there she gets off her ult finally. Probably could have done that earlier. Okay. Also, the Merlin ate a disco ult that he didn't need to. Right? If he was paying attention, he could have sidestepped it. He had enough time to do so if he had wanted to. All right, so that's that sequence so far. Let's see. Now my Mercury comes around. We ult a little bit long. We could have looked for a high level play of like maybe like if you guys are communicating better, like Rama doesn't need to go to the side here, right? Rama could come in hard, and if you ult correctly on top, this results in probably kills, right? Because he can auto through.
Yeah.
That's probably what should happen here, and it should result in kills. But now it's awkward because you're really far out there, and they're backing up. Alma's rotating in first, but there's an Achilles behind. Alma goes high. She should be calling out the Achilles.
No, she did not.
She did not. Okay, well, that should be called out. And then, let's see, she goes for kills here. She's on the wrong target. Nemesis back here is probably better. Does Nim have dash? She does have dash, though, so maybe this is a better target. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's scuffed already at this point. And then she turns around right away. I don't know. If you okay, so a couple things. So number one, Alma, you could have called it out. I don't know if you did or not, but you could have definitely called out that Achilles is rotating behind, right? To be scared. You could have also, if you realize that the fight is going bad, you can turn around and try to keep Achilles from coming in. You can just start beating his ass and trying to keep him from walking freely in. Slow him down just a little bit. But I mean, to be honest, it wasn't the Alma that lost you guys this fight. It kind of became scuffed just off of how it started, right? Merlin ate a disc ult that he didn't need to. My Mercury ulted way too far, and my Rama wasn't able to come in right away and like hit autos. He didn't really do anything, unfortunately, and he missed all three of his snipes too. That's like a lot of missed abilities that kind of causes this fight. So the only way to hit or to get better at hitting abilities is practice and time. There's no like secret sauce for it. It's just dedicating practice, playing ranked, and then saying like every time I miss an ability, I'm going to talk about it, right? Don't just like AFK play ranked, but play ranked, and whenever you missed ability, be like, I missed. You know, like say it to yourself, make sure that you know I missed that ability. That was bad by me. And over time, you'll improve, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. So we are pretty considerably behind now off of that fight. Tier 1 tower into gold. Kind of just walking around the map. Bowgun disco. I don't. You're alone here again. I don't.
Yeah.
You're kind of just unaware
Yeah,
where your team is, I think.
Yeah, that was the problem. I thought Merlin was behind me, but he wasn't.
Yeah, so you get blown up. Yeah, so just pay attention to where your team is moving, right? That's kind of like been a big repeating theme this game for you, right? Make sure that we are paying attention to where people are on the map, counting. Like when my Merlin backs right here, making sure that you know when the Merlin is backing up. You need a little bit more awareness of your team. One thing you can do, which I've told players in the past, like at my level of play even, or like not my level of play, better than me, is you can go into your HUD editor, right? And you can actually move around your minimap. and make it bigger. So what I would advise, if you're struggling to like pay attention to where people are on the map, or struggling to pay attention to how your team is moving, is to move the mini map like toward the center of your screen, like right around here, and then make it bigger and make it a little bit transparent, so it doesn't like block your screen. And that's just the opacity right here. You can like turn up and down the opacity. And that'll make it more or less transparent. And you can fiddle with that and see if you can find a place where the mini map is a little bit closer to your eyes, so your eyes don't have to do this whole big movement going to the top right. They can just do a small quick movement slightly to the right. You know what I mean? It makes it easier to follow it. So that's one thing I would advise to do with your UI. Kind of an awkward rotation. Nothing really came from it. All right, this should be a kill. They're going to do fire, though, if they want. It's probably not terrible to trade those two things, though. Especially if you can, like, split push now.
They don't do fire. They just do pyro and leave.
They should do fire, but it's I guess that if they don't, that's even better. They should have done fire there when they see all four of you in left. And you should be trading, like, a tier 1 tower and maybe a tier 2 into fire. That would be, like, the actual trade that you'd be making. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Aegis. Nice. Okay. You scared me, Prime Heart, but you brought it through. Okay. Aegis was fine. We missed some autos. Like, when we landed, we weren't using our 1 right away, so we hit, like, a minion instead of her. And then I would say the ult was pretty late. Once she uses her 3 again, she's getting cooldowns back up pretty soon. I would have just ulted right away, because you have enough... Like, if you trust your shots, you can kill her at that point. You know what I mean? So a little close, but hey, we came away with the dub. They got Pyro, we got tier 1 tower. Let's see if we do anything with it. Maybe we group push mid. It's a pretty weak tower.
Achilles is chasing me out of my own jungle.
He do be doing that. You are very behind because you didn't farm earlier, so it's very hard for you to really do anything about it. If you put yourself behind, this is why I would always take a person who like farms to 20 faster, right? Because it means when we get to like the 20-minute mark, I have a more effective jungler. I think more games are lost. Is that true? I think that most games that are winnable, okay? Sometimes you'll play a team that's just way better than you, right? Like, let's say that you play, like, in Smite Prime, and you run into, like, one of those teams who's, like, an SEC team playing it, right?
Trust me, we try to play Smite Prime every Friday. Man, these people are good.
Yeah, it's like, eventually you're going to run into a team that is, like, the gap is too big right now, right? You need a little bit more work before you can even, like, contest them. And that's fine. That takes time and that takes effort, and you'll get there if you keep putting in those things, right? But, when you're playing against those guys, the early game is probably what's going to matter the most. They're probably going to kill you a bunch in the early, and then they'll be, 10,000 gold ahead, and they'll just win the game in like 18 minutes or whatever, It'll be like a silly little stomp game. But in most games that are winnable, where you're playing a team that is against like equal or similar-ish strength to you guys, I think that those games are more often lost past 20 minutes than before 20 minutes. I think that you more often than not lose those games later than you do earlier, which is why it's better to farm. Like, farming and getting up to level 20 means that you'll be better for those 20-minute fights, which is where you're going to win or lose the game. You can get stomped in those games as well, even against... I mean, Smite is just kind of like a snowbally game. It can happen, you can get snowballed, but I think it's less likely to happen than it is for, like, you to lose some fire giant fight. So play for the late game.
Okay, I try to ult to the Titan, but it still dies. And then I die.
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't, but I don't even know if Mercury ult hits Fire Giant. Because Merc ult doesn't do damage. It does damage to the people it passes through. So I don't know that his ult actually does damage to the Fire Giant. I won't tell you it doesn't unless I go and test it in like a jungle practice. But I'm not a positive that it does. We'll test after the game if you remind me, okay?
Okay, yeah. I don't know either, to be honest.
But definitely, even if it does, I don't know if ulting in there is good. You should probably look for the fight. Because even if you ult and get the Fire Giant there, if you're, like, stealing it, you're still, like, you're definitely dying for it. Whereas if you see how it's going for your team, even with you dying, like, the fight has gone pretty well. You could have just looked to fight with your team off of it, right? They're taking a lot of damage from fire. They're using a lot of abilities to get it. You could have looked to, like, maybe just punish that. Does that make sense? Fight off of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Also, your team just fucking left Urama. They did not give a shit about him.
They wanted the kill, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to get it, but... Oh, let's see. Show me the one. There it is. Alright, well, we did get it. I mean, so that was really good for you guys. You managed to get, you know, 4 kills for 2, and you took fire off of them, so that's pretty decent. Why is this guy so tanky? What do we have built? Let's check builds.
Man.
Okay, well, number 1, my Merlin doesn't have Soul Reaver. So that's going to keep him pretty tanky against magic, because we don't have the best magical item for killing tanks. Let's see. My jungler is pretty behind, so you're not going to do a ton of damage to him. You could, if you get late game, you can punch him a bunch. Alma's build is fine. This build is fine. This build is fine, but this isn't the meta build that people are going. But it's not bad, Prime Harp. I do want to clarify, it's not bad. I don't know why Umosh has Thorns either. We'll talk about that in a second. But so what most people are doing is they're going a Kins like pin build, and they'll either do Atalantas or Kins first. I see Kins more often by the higher level players, but I have seen some people do Atalantas into Kins. So they'll do Kins, Atalantas, Silver Branch Bow, Odie Bow, and then they'll sell boots for some attack speed item. Because Silver Branch gives you more power for every attack speed you have over 2.5, which is the cap. 2.5 attack speed. So for every like attack speed you have over that, you're getting power. And it's a pretty good conversion rate right now. And so people just build that to take advantage of the fact that Kins procs... Kin scales with attack speed really well, right? You understand what kin size does?
Yeah.
So kin size gives you like an extra damage on your autos for the amount of health that the enemy has. So the more attack speed you have, the more times you're hitting them, the more times you proc kin size. So it scales well with attack speed. So people build kin size into all that attack speed. They get the extra power from Silver Branch. They get a lot of pin from that build from just having Silver Branch and having Atalantas that's 30% pin. And so you get a lot of effective DPS, and you can burn tanks really easily. So that's the meta build. Crit isn't bad, and it was the build before it, so you're not doing like a troll build or anything like that. But you could try Kins and see how you like that build, Mr. Prime Harp, and see if you like it better. It's really good for killing frontline. And then, yeah, I don't know why your Emoja has Shield of Thorns. Shield of Thorns is usually used for staying power Thorns. So, like, you'll have a solo laner go in, and you use Thorns to make it where they can't trade back on you right now, right? Like, it makes it really hard for them to turn around and damage you. Thorns is not very good with, like, a frontliner who they can kind of just ignore, which is what Umoja is, right? Like, Umoja's CC and a lot of good, like, effective CC, but she doesn't have to be autoed. She doesn't threaten enough damage to make it where they have to run away from her or, like, deal with her, which is what a lot of solo laners can do. So Thorns gives them extra, like, staying power. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So for her, I would have been looking at, like, you could do a Belt of Frenzy, which can help, like, you know, in the middle of a team fight, you can pop Frenzy, get a lot of value out of it. Could have looked for, like, a Sprint if you're up against a lot of slows, which you are with the Nemesis, so maybe you get Sprint. It helps with the Ganesh ult, too, because he has a slow on that. There are a couple other options. I'm trying to think. Sunder, if you want to play the early game, but that's kind of like a high-level, like, use type thing. So those things are easier, I think, to get value out of. Was doing crit because adapting was doing it. I've been told it's better, but maybe not.
That's just what my teammate told me was better, and I was like, I was doing the Golden Blade and the Blades build before I was doing the crit, because I'm pretty new to Merc, and then I was told that the crit build was better, and then I was like, why? But then they were saying because adapting was doing it, and adapting is saying that the crit build was better, but I don't know, maybe not.
I think both are fine. Not one is better than the other. Mercury's really not in a great spot right now, just because there's Nemean. That does get changed next patch, but as of right now, Nemean just gives you a free block stat, which makes Mercury really hard, because if like a mid laner goes Nemean, you just kind of can't hit them very easily. He's a one-shot type of, like, auto attack character, so it's like if you can't get your one shot off, you kind of suck, you know? So with a lot of shells around and with a lot of Nemeans around, I don't know if he's that great anyways, but yeah, you could go, like, other builds, but I think crit is fine. If you can't play crit Merc, it just means Merc isn't good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you need to build something else. It probably just means that God's not very good right now. But again, play your comfort picks. I don't think it really matters. None of them are even going Nemean. The only one who went Spectral that kind of counters you is Ganesha, but you're probably not looking to punch Ganesha anyways in this game, right? But yeah, your Merlin should probably go Soul Reaver instead of Soul Gem. If you're not going Soul Reaver in mid, you're kind of trolling your team really hard because that item is like your best effective damage against tank players. So if you're not getting it, you're just making it really hard for your team to kill tanks. Especially if your ADC also goes crit, and now you just have no frontline killing. And your jungler isn't a frontline killer. It's a Mercury who wants to be on the back line. Some junglers can kill frontline, like Hunbots and things like that, right? Mercury's not one of them. Taking all these towers, it looks like we're giving them up, which is probably fine. I don't know if you can contest them.
Not really.
If you're gonna contest a tower, you should always contest this one, the last one, because every tower that they take gives them more gold, right? So you can spend your gold and meet them at that tower, and they won't have spent all the gold that they just get. So this is like your best fight that you're gonna get, right? Your most effective fight. They're gonna have the most gold in hand. The Alma tried rotating earlier. It didn't work out, Nyx's, unfortunately, but she tried earlier. And then her team was just kind of really behind. It's hard to find rotations when your team is really behind. You can't like proxy when your team is dead everywhere. If you do, you're just gonna die for it. All right, they don't end up taking the last one, see, so you managed to defend the last tower. You could have even looked maybe to fight because it's probably gonna be your best fight. If you get all these like items spend all your gold here, like you're effectively almost even, right? Like look how much gold they have in hand. Let's do some quick math. Achilles has like almost 5,000 gold. So then it's like 7,000, 9,000, 11,000. They have almost like 12,000 gold in hand, right? So if you take this fight here right now, it's effectively an even fight. And obviously you don't have this nice little graph in the middle of the game to pull up, but you can pay attention to the fact that, hey, they just did gold into a tier 2 tower in left, into a tier 2 tower in mid, into a tier 2 tower in 3 in solo lane. They probably have a lot of gold in hand, right? Just paying attention to like how long they've been on the map doing things, it becomes a good fight for you at a certain point, or like a decent fight for you. Right? Because now they've managed to they spend all their gold, and now they're going to fire, and they're not, 12,000 gold in hand, so it's a lot harder to fight into them. All right, your emoji gets picked here, and it looks like it's going to bait a fight, which will probably be bad for your team. Let's see. How did my emoji get picked? Okay. Okay, so usually you don't ward when no one in your team is even out of base. Okay. You don't go try to ward the fire giant when no one from your team is out of base. And then number 2, you're really far behind, so I don't know if a ward on fire actually matters. They're going to de-ward it anyways. It's probably better to ward the entrances to fire, so like these areas, so that your team can look for a way in when they pull it. You can see fire giant being pulled from like back here, right? You'll see the animation start on it. So if you stand back here and you peek around the corner, you'll be able to see if they pull fire. You don't need a ward on it to see that. So especially when you're this far behind, I would more often than not just look toward like these areas, like right around here, to make sure that you can actually walk in and contest fire when they pull it without them seeing you. But you move really far up there, Mr. Big Beffy D. And then we do get a kill off of it, so that's sick. Let's see, I mean, any trade right now is good, so managed to get a kill. We managed to live, so we get a good trade out of it. But my maxim is bad plays can go good and good plays can go bad, right? Depending on execution. And that was kind of a bad play that went good. We managed to get a kill, but I don't think that we should have easily done so. I think that was kind of like an int move up by the Umoja, but it worked out. Alright, so now we're just sitting around not doing anything again. Doing the fire giant dance. I don't know how you deal with this Achilles. I'm gonna be 100% real.
Yeah, he was just kind of curb stomping everybody.
Shell for the Rama, he was shell for the Merc. Your comp doesn't deal with him very well, and then you didn't build Soul Reaver and you didn't build Kensai, so I'm not sure how you deal with someone who gets ahead like that. Also, you guys just got farmed by that disco too, because you stacked on each other. Okay, interesting. Okay, we actually get a kill. I would say the only person I think who can even damage that Achilles. Also, why does Ganesha have Phantom? What? For the Umoja ult, I guess? Okay.
Yeah.
The only person who can even damage the Achilles and like effectively do that is your Rama. So your entire team fight, like your Yamoja and your Merlin, should all just be playing to keep your Rama like fighting. Like if he can stay healthy enough to keep fighting, you actually have a chance of like killing them. I have no idea how he lived in that, but yeah, like that's like your only way to win a team fight is if Rama can kill everyone. So your entire team fight should just be aimed around trying to get him space to actually fight. Alright, but that one went again okay for us, even though Disco hit a massive 2 in the beginning of it. Felt like that should have been a wipe off of that. Which again, you probably don't want to be in the range of getting hit by Disco 2 or any abilities unless you see them on fire, right? So you leave your support up here to like look for fire and the rest of you can play back. You look to sentry ward these areas. Said they don't have vision on you. And then you wait for them to commit to the fire and try to punish them for it. You don't need to be like impatient. Force them to like make the play, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we're on the Achilles. He's not taking damage. Alright, so here we go. We're getting some sentry wards out. These are really good. This is exactly what I was saying, right? You get your sentry wards so you can move in when they pull the fire, then you just sit back, wait for them to do it. It's EFG as well, right? So Fire Giant at 30 minutes becomes what's called EFG, Enhanced Fire Giant.
Yeah, yeah.
Becomes way tankier, it does way more damage, so it's much harder to kill post 30 minutes. So again, if they pull it in front of you, it's like a big opportunity to just punish them. Alright, my Mercury got caught out, so you were playing a little far up there on the right. You're getting your ult forced, and what's more important than you just getting your ult forced is the fact that you've pulled your entire team right here. Right, your team came over to help you, to like...
Yeah.
And now they're in a really bad spot. Like I'm telling you, just based off of this, it feels like this should be a wipe if the Cupid just ults right here. The Cupid didn't. Oh my god, are you actually walking out of that? That is so crazy that you guys don't get like hard punished there. You guys are in such a choke point. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, what happens happens. We live. All right, we're out. I just want you guys to know you should have been wiped there as like a team.
Yeah.
For moving that way into that choke in front of them. Cupid ults on top of you and they just hold W. They will hard wipe you there because your Mercury's already out of the fight. Which I guess the lesson for that for you is, right, you don't need to be moving up here like that. You can like clear wave by like throwing out your 1 and then like running back this way. You don't need to ever be like in this area, right? This is like scary. All right, let's see what happens here. You're looking for the Disco. Maybe you can catch her. God, Mercury OP. Okay. We're managing to find somewhat of a decent fight here. We had their Achilles and their Ganesha split off. I don't know if you were aware of that just based off the early game like awareness issues, but if you were, this is a good play to go for, right? Like you had their really scary person Achilles and you had their support over here. Disco was isolated. She was by herself, so you managed to find a pick. If you're tracking all that, then well done. Okay. Keep it old. So you pound the Nemesis too, so really good 2 kills back to back by you. You can actually kill the Achilles at this point, I think, because your Rama's alive. So if you manage to just run at him, he should be able to die if you get CC on him. Okay, just maybe go for Ganesha now. Do you have dash? Do you have dash right now?
I don't. Yes, I
do. Turn around and dash this guy. All right, well, you're a little tunnel visioned right here. This is called tunnel vision. You're looking at one guy, not paying attention to what else. Like he was a good target, and I wanted you guys to go on him, right? Even when he was back here, I was saying Achilles. We can actually kill Achilles now. But the second he gets out, right? Like we missed our knock up on him, we missed our abilities on him. Okay, kill this guy who's in the middle of 4 people, right? He's the better target now. Just dash him, and it's a free kill. See, look how easy that was. He's gonna die. Boom, right? It took you a little bit.
Yeah.
You had a little bit of a delay, but once you noticed him, you did dash him.
I was thinking about flashing over the wall to get Cupid, but then I realized Cupid
would
was
have died.
Achilles. Yeah, so that's why I didn't do it. I just turned around and I got Ganesh.
So see, you played this fight pretty well. I mean, you got caught out to start with your ult, then you managed to find the Disco. Right here. And again, I don't think that you had the awareness that their entire team was split off, but hey, let's just say that you did, right? So we find the Disco here. Easy kill. You punch the Nim. Right, you punch her to death. You maybe could have pathed high here, right? Because you just got 2 kills for free, so your instinct should be that this is a good fight, yeah? No one on my team is dead, so maybe we could have pathed aggressively here looking for a flank. But we path under. Maybe we don't know exactly where everyone is, so we want to be scared or careful. Not scared, but just careful. All right, here you're like, again, this is like tunnel vision. Maybe probably just dash this guy at this point. But then I can tell you what happens is you're like tunnel vision on those guys, and then this guy enters your field of view, and you're like, hell yeah, I got a target to dash now.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and then you punch him, right? But I mean, this wasn't terribly played by you. I think there's a little bit of tunnel vision that we saw. I think maybe you could have passed aggressively after. And I don't know that you 100% knew that they were split off from the disco, but they ended up being. But that's like, understand that's what you need to get moving forward, is like have that awareness of like, oh, the disco split off here. That's why it's a good play. Understand why that worked. But then this becomes a really good fight, right? So let's see if we manage to keep going or whatever. I think here, if I was you guys, I would either be looking to fight the Achilles, who's willing to fight into you right now, or I would be looking to push mid if like he was running away. I don't know if I would do fire. I feel like fire is almost like a little bit of a bait here when you're this far behind and the Achilles and Cupid are still full health. I feel like you almost die on it. But here, like, you probably should just be looking to kill the Achilles when he ran into you guys. We'll split up. I think if you guys pull fire, you might die. We'll see what happens. Maybe they give it up. Looks like they're giving it up. Awesome.
Yeah, they just gave it up.
There you go. No reason to be scared. I'm a coward, I guess. I think it's probably fine if you execute it well. Alright, so now we get fire. How did we lose this game? We got fire. We caught back up. We're full build. We got our Deathbringer online. Pushing mid here isn't optimal because you're going to delay your own back unless you're just not going to back. Which gold do you have in hand? 3,000 gold. What do you have? Where are you? Here you are. You could sell boots, I guess. You could upgrade your relics. You get a pot, a power pot. I want to see you back before you go. Okay, so you're backing now, but you see like how delayed it was? That tier 1 tower was going to fall. That tier 1 tower is gone, right? There's no way that they're defending a tier 1 tower against you guys with EFG. There's just no chance. So there's no need to go take it right then and there, right? You probably could have just gotten your back off, gotten a power pot, upgraded your relics, gotten like speed pot so that when you come back the next time, you can sell your boots if there is a next time. It looks like, I mean, you farmed up enough to sell your boots right away, but you didn't upgrade these things, and I don't think you got a power pot, which I think almost has more value. Especially if it means that you can push right away. Alright, so we're pushing left. You're trying not to get caught in mid, yes. Again, we're awareness of where the team is. We have EFG pushing left. We just do not need to die here. There is no fight here. There's nothing to do. We're just sitting back really far. You're just keeping an eye on everything. They're pushing left. This is good split for you guys. You stop a couple backs, which is great, right? You don't need to die. Just let them get the Phoenix, and then you guys meet up in mid. Okay, awesome. Perfectly played, perfectly played. Literally can't do it better than that. Okay. Okay, now this is where it starts to get a little risky. We're pushing mid here while... You don't need to be impatient, right? So we have EFG. We did the left Phoenix while they were split pushing. That was good. Then we see them back off to go and defend. That means they're all coming towards you. We need to regroup. You can take like 30 seconds here to regroup. My Mercury and my Merlin, who were sitting back and watching the split push, making sure that they didn't like end or like go into our Phoenix or anything like that. They were just kind of keeping an eye on things, which is all fine. They need to have time to catch up to you. They need to track all the way up here. So you guys don't need to push this mid tower right away. You can come grab this wave, right? And you can bring minions with you, and then you guys can come as 5. You have 5 people with EFG. You group as 5 and push together, it probably won't go that bad for you. But if you get pinched here in a 3v5, it could be really bad, right? So it's just a risky push of what you're doing there. I see Ganesha goes to this play. If Ganesha and Cupid had come in behind together, and then these guys hadn't stayed so far back, like they could have 3v5'd you here, which would have been really bad for you guys. You don't want to be taking 3v5s. You might die anyways, even in a 4v3, looks like. Let's see. You also pathed poorly. You pathed away from your team. Mercury was over here and like looking down lane. Instead of pathing into the jungle, you should have ran straight down lane. Those 3. They should have just kept going down lane so that they can get to their team faster. Their Mercury and their Merlin, who's in the mid lane. That would have been better than walking into the jungle here, because now the Mercury can't ult through. Okay, we have EFG, so if we can get together, it's a good fight, but we're being slow. Not sure why everyone's being so slow to come over and like try to get to you guys. Dude, look how much he did. Even he's getting ran at. We still have EFG. We don't need to be afraid. That was a 1-for-1. We can still fight here, boys. Oh, no, no, no. This looks bad for you, though. You're getting caught by the Cupid and you didn't beads. Yeah, you needed a beads early there. Also, you want to be engaging onto him, not him onto you. You're an assassin. There's no reason that you should be getting engaged on by a Cupid. I'm gonna watch how you walk up there and get engaged. Do you see him or?
Unstoppable.
Here you just have a lack of awareness. You're not paying attention. Right. Here, if you blink onto him here and start punching him and beads his ult when he ults, like right away, if you beads it, you should kill him. You have crit and your Mercury.
Oh, was my mic off this whole time?
Yeah, I haven't heard you for a little while, but yeah,
Sorry.
you should be able to punch him to death before he
Yeah.
autos you to death.
What's happening here is I was thinking about flashing on him. I wanted to flash on him, and I was right about to do it, and then he does the ult, and then I can't flash on him, and I kind of get I don't know what's going on. I kind of get like flabbergasted, and then I realize what's going on, and then it's just too late at that point.
Yeah, understood. A little bit of a panic. Also, I can tell you play League of Legends.
How do you know I used to play League of Legends?
Because you're calling it flash and not blink.
Really? I called it flat. I didn't even. That's like subconscious. I didn't even notice that.
It's a blink rune, not a flash rune. Nah, it's
I'm
fine.
gonna call it
They're the
blink
same
anyway.
things. Yeah. I mean, there it's like you just want to engage on him instead of letting him engage on you. You reacted slowly to it.
Yeah, that was the
I mean, if you
problem.
blink on him, it's probably fine. You probably kill him. You might still die. I don't know. I think that if you hit your autos in melee range, you kill him before he kills you, though.
Yeah.
And it's kind of RNG. Obviously, if you get like really unlucky with crits, be unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, also your 2 does make you slow immune, so you don't even necessarily need to beats the Cupid ult if you play that correctly. You know your Q2 makes you slow immune, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's like, so maybe like his Cupid ult, that big circle is like a slow into a mez. So you can 2 for the slow and then beads for the mez if it hits you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you should be able to blow him up unless you get really unlucky with RNG. That's crit
Yeah.
for you. And then yeah, I don't know. I mean, my chat asked, I don't know why the Alma was playing back. That's why I said I don't know why everyone was like refusing to help the Rama here. Okay, so like right here, you guys should just keep running down lane to your Mercury, right? Because if Merc can ult through here and get to you guys, it might go well. You have EFG still, so it's like you have the advantage in these fights. So here we go into the jungle, which is bad. My Rama's trying to fight, trying to turn, and then he ults, and my Alma just kind of leaves him, right? My Alma should
Yeah.
not just leave here.
Yeah, I don't know what she's
Right,
doing.
so you're like playing really scared Salty Ryan. You are my frontliner. I need you to frontline, not run so far away. All right, look how much like Rama does without you. Imagine if you were ulting on top of this and like giving him more space. And like
Yeah.
actually like stunning people on like his landing, right? Like your ult hits now, and like you're stunning people right now. He can keep autoing, and he will actually heal because he has lifesteal, right? So he will heal up and get healthy again and be able to keep fighting. You kind of just left his ass, which is unfortunate. Alright, so here my Mercury gets engaged on. Is the opposite. Look how much you just crit him for. You hit him once for like 1,000,000 damage. Unfort. Yeah, so a little bit bad reflexes there on the side.
Yeah.
But those are the type of things where I'm saying you get better with time and like playing ranked, and then after it saying, okay, I reacted really slowly there, you know?
I was overthinking it, I think, because I wasn't sure whether to do it or not, and it took too long, and then by then you already ulted, and I died.
One thing you can do, especially in ranked, is just pull the trigger, right? Going into a lot, you might go 1-11, but you'll learn like your limits, right? You limit test. So that's like the meme. Well, I'm a limit test. That's what that's what people say when they get tilted and they like just want to throw the game. Yeah, it's like that's what people say when they get like tilted and they just want to throw games. But like, it's a genuine thing that you can do is limit test. Just say I'm gonna go and play like really aggressive and see what I can get away with, and you know over time I'll learn I can't do these things. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe dashing them under their tier 1 moves. Hey, oh well, we found the limit. You know.
I guess so. We have found it.
So that's one way. Don't be scared, especially like in scrims or in ranked or whatever. Just feel free to go and limit test. And if it goes poorly, say that was my bad. You know, admit your own faults. Don't like flame your team. It's bad when you have that guy who's 1-11 dashing people under tower and then flaming their team. Nobody likes that guy. But if you're like 1-11 and you're like, yeah, that was my bad. I played really bad this game. Then everyone will move on with their lives. You'll get flamed every once in a while, but who cares?
Yeah.
Ignore those people. All right. So next fight is fire. Let's see if we can get wards out. We are even, which is nice. Like, right, this game should have been over way earlier, but they messed up on that firefight, and we managed to get an EFG, so we're, like, back in it.
I think
That
this
is
is a fight.
unfortunate. They get
Yeah. He just walks up and secures it. So dumb.
Yeah. So right now we have fire minions pushing left, right, and they have fire minions pushing mid. Do you know which one of those is more impactful?
No.
So
I think.
left Phoenix is the most important Phoenix in the game. Duo lane Phoenix, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
I remember my
so
teammate
right
said that.
Phoenix. Yep. The reason being that it's the furthest away from Fire Giant. So for someone in your team to clear these fire minions, because fire minions will kill your Titan if you don't do anything about them, right? They will just walk into your Titan room and kill your Titan. So you have to clear them. You can clear these from here, right? Like you can clear them from like in this general area and be very close to a Fire Giant fight if it breaks out. Whereas to clear duo lane minions, you have to be on the opposite side of the map to deal with them. So you guys still have the advantage in terms of which Phoenix like you have down if you can like push a fight right now. So what you should be trying to do is group quickly as 5, get together really fast and try to force a fight. Because hopefully you will be able to take advantage of someone split pushing left, right? Now if they're not split pushing left, you still want to get together as 5, but if you don't see anyone pushing left and you see these minions pushing up, you can then chill and relax for a little while and wait, because someone will eventually have to go and deal with these minions. You can sit as 4 by Fire Giant and then have like one person clearing your own minions, you know, clearing your own fire minions, and you can play patient at that point. So it really just depends on if someone's in left or not, but you want to take advantage of the fact that someone eventually will have to go to duo lane to clear those minions, and they will be very far away from a fight. Whereas we can clear these minions right here, wait, clear these minions right here, wait. Okay, someone's in left, let's fight, right? And then you run it down. So that's what I would like to see happen here. Let's see if we successfully group. They get gold, so we know that they're at gold. They still haven't cleared these waves very well. So we should be looking to group here and looking for these fights. These guys are way out of position. And see, we're playing like super passive, even though we have the advantage right now. And if you play passive, what's going to happen is they're going to clear out these minions. They're going to be able to have the advantage coming their way, right? It's because their Phoenix spawns before ours does. So eventually they're not going to have to worry about left lane, and we're still going to have to worry about mid wave. And like obviously mid is less important than duo, but it's still something to keep in mind. So they'll have the advantage at that point. They bought a lot of time because they do have Oni minions in left. So like all that time right there, right? It's been like 2 minutes in game. We didn't do anything when we could have been like fighting.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate. So we missed an opportunity to push our lead there. We should have been holding W once they showed up and left. Now it's kind of just like an even fight where someone's gonna have to be in mid like you are right now to clear those out. You're backing. I don't know if I'd ever advise backing at that point in the game.
Oh, look, I only backed because the Oni fire minions took half of my health, and I wanted to be full health for the fight.
Okay.
But that might have not been the play. I don't know.
You probably just shouldn't be taking half your health from Oni fire waves. You can just let your own wave catch up to you so they tank it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, like here, you probably don't need to walk in and catch these. You can probably just like let them go to your wave so you don't have to take all this damage. All right, yeah, you take a lot of damage there. But if you're gonna back up, it's practically conceding fire. Or your Yamoja needs to not get caught here, right? Walking in again really far forward. Yamoja, you can see the EFG from back here where the Alma is, right? You can see Fire Giant and tell if it's getting pulled from back here. You won't have a health bar on it, but you'll know if they're pulling it. So there's no need to move in like this, especially when my Mercury just back to base. So now I mean, this is like just an int play. I'm not saying that to be mean, but you just inted. I mean, this is just an intentional death. Like, this is you walking into them and saying, please kill me. And they did. Unfortunately, that was close.
Yeah, they just wipe us the whole
And if
team.
your Rama dies, it's over. Yeah, your
Yeah,
Rama's the only one who's able to kill anyone.
They win off this, but
Yeah,
yeah, we
your
died
Rama's done
to
more damage.
us being out of position.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have won that fight if we did things differently for sure.
Yeah.
But they just Emoja went in too soon, and then they were just pushing off of that, and then Raman died, and after that, it's just over.
Well, my chat right up here says that, you know, Alma's staying really far back and Emoja's so far forward, it's like they switched roles. I get what he's saying. The Alma is staying too far back in general this entire game. It's not really making as much of an impact as she could. But, like, no one should be where the Emoja was right there, right? My Mercury backs. There's no reason for anyone to move up here. My Alma and my Emoja should probably just both be staying right around here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, my Alma is playing super passive this game in general in terms of how she's positioning. Like when she left my Rama, like never like proxy farming or looking for like an aggressive rotation really. She's like not, and like Achilles is looking for like all these back invades. She wasn't ever like simultaneously looking for back invades or anything like that, or even trying to take these before the Achilles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like being a non-factor so far. I mean, you are 2-0-6, but like your KDA doesn't matter if your team loses, right? So don't just pad your own KDA. Don't just play safe for yourself. Play for the team, right?
It's funny because the person in chat, they had some idea because the emoji is actually used to be our solo laner, and so I guess he has some of those tendencies to be far forward.
Yeah.
Maybe it has something to do with it.
Even if you're a solo laner, you should not be up here at 39 minutes of the game when the Mercury backed it. It's still really bad. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This is just like a way too far forward again. And maybe it's like now that I pointed out to you, you'll think about it, Mr. Big Beffy. But like you can see fire from back here in like this sort of area, right? You can like be over here and kind of like check around the corner. Like you can stay way further back and not have to move up to here to see it, right? You're not actually getting any advantage out being up here. You get no increased information. You get nothing good from being up here. You're only putting yourself in a position to die, especially when my Mercury just went back to base. And we've had a couple moments like that where like my Mercury earlier died on this area when the mid laner went back to base, right? So you guys need to make sure that you're announcing when you're backing to your team, and then make sure that you're paying attention to when your team is backing and where they are on the map. And I think that would stop some of these like int plays. But yeah, this is just really far forward for no reason. I don't know. I think you're probably going for a ward, maybe. I don't know. You don't even have a ward. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
I don't either. But it is what it is. It happens. I mean, it's goal level play. You know, these mistakes happen. But we got to clean them up for you guys to get to the next step. Don't walk into the fire pit when your team is behind. Don't do it when you're alone. Don't do it when your team is back in base. That's all bad. And then if your Rama dies, like this game's over practically. I feel like Rama's the only one who can kill their front line.
It ends here. They push Phoenix and then they end.
Yeah, they should.
At that point, I was actually doing damage to Achilles, but it just was too late. I couldn't do anything.
And that's again because you farmed so poorly early game, right? You got to late game so late. I'll watch to see if there's anything. Yeah, okay, this game. All right, so like big takeaways. I guess we'll go to the end screen. Big takeaways are like repetitive issues that I saw. Not paying attention to where my teammates are. We didn't build 100% correct in mid or ADC, I would say. Or at the very least, we didn't build to kill frontline, which is an issue. Their Cupid's build is kind of like the meta one, right? Where he's going at Atalanta's and Silver Branch, Odibo, Kenzai's, and then some item in place of the boots. He did it out of order, though. You want to go Ken's early. You want to do like Ken's right after boots into Atalanta's, into Silver Branch, Odibo, and then like last item would have been the Toxic Blade. He has these two switched, but for the most part, he has the correct build. You know, to be honest, it's not necessarily better than crit. It's just a different style. You should try it out. I would say that going Soul Reaver earlier over Soul Gem is just better, in my opinion. I think Soul Gem is good, but to go Soul Gem, you're putting it in one of these two slots, right? You're either doing it over Magus or you're doing it over Deso. And then also Divine could have been a really good item this game, right? Divine Rune in competitive is pretty almost mandatory. I won't say 100% mandatory, but most often. Achilles has a lot of healing. Their Cupid has a lot of healing, you know, and then they have lifesteal off of their ADC most of the time, right? So he's additionally gonna have healing. So Divine's never really a bad item. It's solid stats for price.
I got the Shadow Steel, but that was way too late in the game at that point.
Yeah, I also don't even know if that's a good item. I'm pretty sure it's trash, unless they changed it. Yeah, the stats on it look really bad. I think even Toxic Blade might just be better. Toxic Blade, 15 pin, a lot more attack speed, movement speed for Mercury, and you get some health. Might just be a better item at that point. And it's also less RNG dependent because this is dependent on you getting crits to get the healing reduction, whereas this is just any basic gives you the healing reduction. It stacks up twice, so it's a little bit more consistent anti-heal. But I don't think the items really cost you these guys this game. I just think that there maybe could have been a little bit better ones. I also think the Shield of Thorns isn't that good. I think Shield of Thorns on supports is pretty bad unless you can threaten, unless you're like a really aggressive support that can threaten damage, like a Cerberus maybe or something like that, because then you can like hold W and if they try to fight into you, you can thorns, and then you're still doing damage, and it's hard for them to like return damage to you, and you're threatening kills. But as a Umoja, you're not really threatening kills that often, so it's kind of like, why? You know, like why? What do we need here? Onk could have been better, maybe just to burn the Achilles if you ever get out of position. But yeah, so item builds could have been better. Could have stayed more grouped. Warding could have been a lot better in the early game. Okay, that is something that you guys need to change tomorrow. Like,
yeah, I was gonna. Is there like some sort, not like a map, but like, is there a way you could like pinpoint, like, so we can save like an image or something of some like the places we should aggressively ward? Like,
yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do.
because
Hey,
it'll be
this is
a
my
lot
dog
easier
cam.
to convey to them if they can like see it in a picture and we can like study it and like have it next to us. Then I think it'd happen more often. But if not, it's okay.
Give me a second here. I think I still have one saved. This should work. All right. Let me do this as well. Switch over Discord so you're following with me. All right, you can see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so big places to ward. Make it a little bit bigger. God, I hate paint. I don't know how to use it. Oh God, pixel. Okay, whatever. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is fine. Go here. All right. So first out of base, a lot of supports will come over and ward on top of red, and then they might ward depending on how safe they feel. Right? If they feel like they're threatened or whatever, maybe they'll just throw out like a ward right here. But additionally, you can ward like deep, like right here ish, like somewhere in this area. Right? Make it where it covers the back wall. And then like right here is for mid laner. And then mid laner and jungle often want to have some type of ward on right over here, or back up if you're scared, or like on top of mid camps is fine as well. And then my duo lane, like my ADC, your main job is trying to sentry ward right here. Okay, sentry, and then like normal wards up here. A normal ward on bottom is really useless, but a sentry ward down there is good because it enables your jungler's gank. Because if you have a sentry ward down here and my jungler wants to come gank left and you're not a Mercury who can just ult down the lane, it enables my jungler to actually walk over the sentry ward and know that he's not on a ward, right? So it gives you a way better gank opportunity. Solo laner, you want to ward backs and you want to keep a timer on the enemy blue. The backs is not necessary, but it is nice if you can ever get to it, if you feel safe enough to do it, if you have the time to do it, everything like that. It's a really nice word to throw out there. My jungler can also do this, right? My jungler can throw out word on like the top, like we said, and then he can also come over and throw this word out, like just back to back sometimes. But these are generally the popular ward spots. The only defensive wards you really ever want are like here. You can sentry ward bottom mids. Obviously, there's a wall here, right? So this is like that now. But you can like sentry ward here. But even that's not necessarily all that great unless you're like kind of worried about them invading your red or something. You know, that's when I would be looking at those wards. For the most part, especially if I have an early lead, these are the wards I'm looking at to play off of red and blue, red and purples. And then over here, if we're looking aggressive, you can ward even up to like here. If we're like making aggressive plays over here on blues and getting kills and stuff, you can ward their speed even, like depending on how well things are going. But yeah, so hopefully you can clip that from the stream so you have my talking over it and you can like link that in your Discord or whatever so that they have some ideas. But yeah, first back for supports, it is very, very popular to go drop two wards right away. One on red and like one up here. Like literally you just walk from base and like go do those wards and then you go either to mids or you go back to like duo depending on what's going on in the game. And then my mid laner, sentry wards up here. And if you effectively get like these three wards, if you see these three like top ones, there's no path for an enemy jungler to get into the left side jungle without crossing one, right? Like how do you get to duo lane then without getting noticed, right? You can't go like this. That ward spots you. Right? You want to make sure it touches the wall. You can't really do this because red ward will touch you. You can't go for mid, obviously. Like there's no way. You'd have to go like down duo lane behind this tower and then like something like this. But even then the ADC's ward will catch you if he has one like he should. So it's like it's really hard to get there and you get way prior notice rather than having a ward here, right? Because if you don't have any of these aggressive wards and all you have is this purple one and the enemy jungler does something like, you know, you don't get noticed until right then, right? And then he's like 2 seconds away from ganking you. Whereas if you have this ward, you get noticed like, you know, 7 seconds earlier, hey, Mercury's in left jungle, Mercury in left jungle, Mercury in left jungle. Oh, okay, Mercury's in duo lane. Like, who could have seen that coming, you know?
Yeah.
So these are popular ward spots. This is how I would go about trying to get some wards on the ground. And obviously you don't want to get predictable. There are some fun wards you can do just to like keep it fresh and not be predictable. You can like some supports I've seen go and drop a ward on backs, level 4 when they get their first back off. I once upon a time saw a support go and drop a ward on red, and then he waited for wave to go through mid, and then he crossed under and warded the speed. I don't know if that's very good, but it was interesting to watch. So it was interesting to watch. So that's an option for you. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to get like stagnated, but these are the common ward spots that you would like. I would expect to see in like a common competitive game. Okay. So yeah, try to ward more aggressively, and then as a team, try to fight around buffs. Okay, don't take these random little arena fights that you guys are doing all the time. Say like, hey, their red is spawning in 2 minutes, right? You know that little pie is 2 minutes now, so you can track how long it is. Say to my team, hey, can we be at this next red? It spawns in a minute. We have a 2k gold lead. Can we go to this red? Can we invade red? And then you'll hear, yes, 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 I can be there. Everyone needs to try to be there, like try to back before and get your item spikes. Don't like get to that 20 seconds before mark and be like, actually I need to go get my boots, you know? Back in time, go and get there, and then you group and walk into their red. Right, my duo lane comes from duo. Right, that my duo lane will like try to get pressure and then walk in from duo. My mid and jungle will like walk in this way, and we get to red. And if someone's over there, then you like look to kill them. You look to grab their mid laner who's like walking in, or their jungler who's on red, whatever. And then you get kills. If you get kills, you can then go to purple because purple will spawn a little bit after red generally for people. So yeah, so try to make aggressive plays on buffs. Don't just make aggressive plays for nothing. You want to fight for farm. That's like, get that tattooed on your forehead. Get that tattooed into your brain. Fight for farm. Don't just fight. Fight for farm, right? If you're fighting for farm, it's good. If you're fighting for nothing, like you're generally wasting time and you should just be farming. It's generally just better to be farming at those points.
Okay.
Because you're taking a 50-50 with no guarantee of success, right? Like, you got to imagine the enemy team is also human beings trying to play the game. So no fight is 100% guaranteed. So you're fighting for nothing. You're risking just for 50-50 for free. If you're fighting for farm, there's a really big advantage to if you win that 50 compared to like if you lose it. If you lose it, they get their own farm. Like, okay, but if we win it, we get their farm. We start to push it. You get like a way bigger gain out of it, you know? All right. Anything else that you can think of or anything that you have any questions about?
Yes.
Yes.
Another thing. So as you already know, I'm new to jungle. I told you that. And I made a lot of mistakes, and especially with the farming. I know I need to improve my farming a lot. I don't, just general, like, I, I don't know. I'm just not great at farming the jungle, and I really don't know how to get better. I can look back in these VOD reviews and I can see the mistakes I make, but in game I get like confused and I don't know where to go, and I'll just make mistakes and go places I know I shouldn't be anyway. Just what resources or like what can I do to improve my farming?
Okay, number one, you can watch good junglers play the game, right? You can watch like Adapting and his streams. You can watch those guys and see what they do. And like, don't just watch them for entertainment. Watch them and think about like, what is he doing, right? Like, he's coming out of base. Literally, pause the stream. He's coming out of base at 10 minutes. Say, where would I go as a jungler? What is Kenneth about to do, right? And then play it, right? And see what does he do? Does he go? Hey, the enemy jungler is ganking my duo lane. My speed is up. My blue is up. And they're getting ganked right now. Where does Kenneth go? Is he going to rotate over and try to defend that gank, or is he going to go to his speed? Okay, what does he do? Press play, see what he does, then think to yourself, why did he do that? If it's different than what you thought, like, okay, well, why would he do that? Oh, well, maybe it's just not worth going to the duo lane. And my instinct was to follow the gank, but maybe it's just not worth it. It looks like the fight's already over. Maybe he just wants to get his free farm that's secure on the map, right? Maybe he goes to the duo lane fight. It's like, well, they were diving a tier 2. It was pretty free kills for him, so he makes the easy decision to go get kills. To go get these 2 kills that they're just way overextended for. Right? So then ask yourself and critically think about it. That's like step 1 of something you can do, right? But that takes time and energy to do that over a course of like a stream. Another thing you can do is the warding will help you. Like, these wards that you're getting will help you because in terms of where you want to be, a good rule of thumb or a general rule of thumb is you want to be wherever the enemy jungler is, okay? You just want to, for most of the early game, you want to just make sure that you're not getting super out-rotated somewhere. You want to make sure that you're tracking the enemy jungler well and know where he's at, so your duo lane's not like dying to cheesy ganks at like 2 minutes or something like that. And then you can decide at that point, depending on what gods you are, depending on the matchups, should I like follow and try to get a gank off as well? Or should I tell my duo lane, hey, the nemesis is coming. the Nemesis ganking you guys have 20 seconds until the Nemesis is there. I'm going to go farm her back camps because she's committing to some bad gank. And I can see you guys on the minimap. You guys can back up and just be fine. Right? Like, you have plenty of time. I know that. And that comes with experience and time. But start making those decisions and paying attention. The wards will help you, but make it a goal to track the enemy jungler. And then lastly, something that you can start tomorrow that's very quick, very easy to do, make it a rule to be on your camps on time. That is your goal for the game. Not to win or lose the game, not to get kills. Your goal for the game should be, I am going to be at my speed when it spawns, right? I'm not going to be late to it. I'm not going to be on blue when my speed's spawning. I'm going to be at my speed when it spawns. I'm going to go to the blue, and I'm going to get the blue as it spawns. I'm going to be on my backs on time. They're not going to be up, like, for more than a minute or more than 30 seconds. I mean, even 30 seconds is, like, long, right? Like, when you're a good jungler, like, playing optimally, you don't want your backs to be standing up for that much. So I'm going to be on my backs on time. The only, when I say backs, I'm referring to the solo side ones. The duo side backs, those can be up for a little bit longer. Like, your mid can get them. Those are a little bit harder to get to sometimes. So even good junglers won't be on those, like, as they spawn 100% of the time. But in general, just say, like, I'm going to be at my camps on time. I'm going to get my speed. I'm going to get my backs. I'm going to get my blue. I'm going to get mids when I can. I'm going to focus on farming. I'm going to be on those camps on time when they're spawning. Yeah.
All right.
That's what I would advise you. Anything else?
Just last thing, just any general tips for my teammates who are like a solo laner, mid laner, ADC, and support who are not here right now. Just some general tips.
Yeah, focus on grouping a little bit better. So generally, I want my mage and my ADC to play together. I want my support to be in front of them, and then I want my solo laner to be in front of her, in front of the support. And then generally, your jungler and your solo laner are going to be trying to coordinate dives together. So you guys will be talking to each other in a team fight and saying what targets you want to go on. Like, and then my Alma needs to play aggressive with you. I mean, that's the general gist of it. You guys didn't ever really coordinate a dive this game, which kind of makes it hard for the jungler to do anything. It's like a lot better if my Alma can say, like, I will dive Discordia with you, right? And then my Alma goes in and forces the Discordia dash, and then my Mercury is ready to, like, ult and follow up on it, right? Like, if you can get resources as a solo laner, then your jungler can get kills off of that. So my Alma should be looking to play aggressive with you. My ADC and my mage should be playing together, and then generally my support can kind of go front or back depending on how the fight's going, depending on if my ADC needs peel or not. Which is another thing I didn't see happen that much, was helping the ADC. I feel like your ADC actually could have, like, carried this game if he had a little bit more help from people at certain points. He was kind of popping off. So
he's definitely our best player, is our ADC.
yeah, so maybe as, like, a support, just focus on trying to keep your ADC alive, trying to keep him in the game and autoing and attacking, because he seems to be pretty decent. So, and then I'm trying to think anything else. I mean, other than that, again, like, who's your shot caller?
Shot caller. I'm not sure if we have a specific shot caller. We kind of just react to things as they happen. We don't really have a shot caller.
Okay.
If anybody, it's like me and our ADC are making the most shot calls. Probably most of the ADC, but even then, it's not like he's our shot caller, you know.
I would try to change that personally to have a little bit more of dedicated shot calling from someone, which hopefully that's just something where you tell them, like, in a team talk, you say, like, hey, would this be something you're comfortable doing? Don't expect perfection from that person. Don't put too much weight on their shoulders. They're going to make mistakes in their shot calling. But try to get someone doing some type of shot calling, because if you're just reacting, you are going to lose a lot of Smite, right? You need to be able to make proactive plays, and you need to be able to make, like, plays yourselves, like in those late game team fights. For example, when they were clearing duo lane this game, right, and we had that, like, 30, 45 second window where we could have been grouped and fight, you need someone in calm saying, group and fight, look for something. Someone, they have to clear left, let's look for a fight. And all that stuff comes with experience, but you need to have someone start getting experience by doing it now, you know what I mean? And then you learn the shots that are called go correct or they go wrong, and then you sit back together as a team, you analyze and you say, well, was the shot call wrong, or did we just execute it? Could we have done something better to make the shot call work? Oh, I missed my Achilles ult. Maybe if I hit that, this call goes a little bit better for this fight, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I would try to get a shot caller. I think that's another thing that you can immediately, like, Just get together as a team, talk about it. Whoever feels comfortable doing it, if your ADC does, awesome. And then you go into next scrims, and he tries to focus a little bit more on actually talking and communicating what he wants the team to be doing. And that way you guys actually start executing stuff. Because, I don't know, if you just walk around and you don't have any shot calls and you're not trying to make any plays, then you're not really getting better. You know what I mean? You're just... like, what's the difference between that and ranked at that point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can mechanically improve, but you're not improving as a team if you're not trying to do stuff. So get someone to get you guys organized and try to do some stuff.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
I appreciate you coming out. Let me review your team. I hope it was helpful in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, it was more than helpful. Thank you for taking the time
Of
out
course.
of your morning for us.
Of course.
We have a team name. We're the Speed Freaks.
The
Hopefully
Speed Freaks, okay.
Yeah, we'll be on the SPL stage soon enough with this information.
Oh, damn,
and hopefully,
man. All right.
We'll improve on what you said, and we'll be back here, and then you'll give us a round of applause for what we've improved upon.
Keep me updated. I told my other team, keep me updated. If you guys do any community tournaments, you should look into some of that stuff. You know, I know you guys do Smite Prime.
Yeah, but Smite Prime usually doesn't go.
And Smite Prime, I was gonna say, has like a wide variance in the level of teams played. There's some other community tournaments. I know there's like the Albion Giants League. There's the I think it's the Obey League. I might be lying. I don't know. There's another league out there. Anyone in chat who knows it, you can throw it out there. But I know like the Albion Giants has like a league and a tournament type thing where they actually do it by like skill level. So you won't be playing SCC level teams. You won't be playing my team in a game and getting run, right? Because you're not quite ready for that type of stuff. You want and those games aren't useful. You know what I mean? Like if you're just getting stomped in 18 minutes by players that are like, you know, 8 years more experience of competitive than you, it doesn't do anything for you. You're not going to improve from those. You want to play against teams that are somewhat around your skill level so you can actually see like flaws and get better and kind of ramp up. So I would advise you guys to look into some of those leagues, see if you can find any of them, and then do keep me updated. If you have, you know, questions going forward or whatever, don't feel afraid to reach out. I can always answer quick questions, and just let me know how it's going. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Have a good day. Take it easy.